morning, everyone. My name is Dana Trisha Aposto, and I will be reporting the manager role in ethics. Managers and professionals in organizations are responsible for following through and actually exemplifying ethical behavior. They are responsible for establishing high ethical standards, setting a consistency possible example of exceeding those standards, and actually acting immediately when they observe unethical behavior. So, yung manager and professional, sila yung responsible sa pag-amplify or apply ng ethical behavior. So, pag meron silang na-sight or na-encounter na unethical behavior, kailangan agad-agad nilang resolusyonan. Kaya yon, kasi malaking effect yan sa company. Next is best ratio approach. Approach that believe that the people are basically goods in right circumstances, they can act, behave ethically, and under certain conditions, they can be driven to be unethical behavior. That's why when hard decisions must be made, managers should make the choice that will do the most good to the most people. This approach, sometimes called situational ethics. So, based on that, best ratio approach is about yung sa manager kapag nakapag-encounter siya ng unethical behavior, kailangan yung choice or decision na gagawin niya must be fair to other both sides or must be the most good to the most people or her or his employee. It is sometimes called situational ethics. Black and white approach. Right is right, wrong is wrong, and condition is relevant. When difficult decision must be made, managers should make fair and impartial choices regardless to the outcome and to the right thing without concerns for short-term circumstances. So based on that, black and white approach is about the manager who making decisions with a fair. So even if the manager will encounter some problem, like for example, yung manager meron siyang employee na kamag-anak niya, then yung kamag-anak niya yun, nagkaroon siya ng trouble or nagka-encounter siya ng trouble sa ka-employee niya. Kahit nakasalanan nung kamag-anak niya, kailangan niya pa ring gawin ng tama or hindi paboran yung kamag-anak niya yun for the sake of others. Next is full potential approach. Decisions made are based on how they will affect the ability of those involved to achieve their full potential and questioning which one is best. So, sa full potential approach naman, ito yung mga decision na binabase sa mga magiging apekto nun sa abilidad na involved dun sa mga sa mga employee niya. Kailangan kapag yung decision niya, ang tatanong niya lang dun which is best or kung saan yung pinaka-the best dun. Hindi niya pwedeng sabihin kung saan yung tama or mali doon. Next is organization's role in ethics. The organization's responsibilities are: number 1, create an ethical environment in which stakeholders know that they will be supported when making ethical choices. Number 2, ensure that all people in positions of authority in the organization is set an example of living to the highest ethical standards. Creating an ethical environment. An organization creates an ethical environment by establishing policies and practices that ensures that all employees are treated ethically and by enforcing those policies. One effective way to create an ethical environment is to develop an ethical philosophy with specific guidance. So, isa daw sa mga effective na gawin para i-apply ang ethical environment is using or making some guidelines. Key concepts set forth in the statements are honesty, integrity, truth, and fairness. Manager can play a key role in promoting ethical behavior on the job by encouraging upper management to develop written ethics philosophies, credos or guidelines, and then by modeling the behavior they encourage. So the manager should show how ethical behavior should apply in their company, or kailangan sila yung maging good example. Ethics trainings and codes of business conduct. Ethics trainings is becoming increasingly important as pressures of succeeding in an intensely competitive global market grow. Professionals operating in the hyper-competitive environment that is today's global marketplace will frequently face ethical dilemmas, which means undesirable or unpleasant choice. As a result, when providing ethics training, it is important to observe the following rules of thumbs. Encourage two-way communication. Broadcasting to people about the rules and regulations and policies is an effective training strategy. Give an open forum to your employee to state their views, questions, and propose solutions. So, sabi dito sa encourage two-way communication, yung manager pwede siyang maggawa ng isang open forum for employees to gain their questions, suggestions, solutions. Next is make the training practical. An effective approach for ensuring that training is to present a real-life scenarios and ask participants to explain how would they handle each situations and why. So, isa daw sa best na pwedeng gawin sa make the training practical is a real-life scenarios kung paano ang isang employee mag-interact or mag-react sa isang situation. Next is avoid dogmatic situation. The trainer's rules in the tactfully guide participants toward an ethical solution by helping them to take their opinions to their logical conclusion, rather than telling the participants that an idea or opinion is wrong or right. It is better to lead them in such a way that they come to the conclusion and themselves. So, sabi dito sa dogmatic situation, yung manager, kailangan pag nag-gather nila yung suggestions ng employee nila, hindi nila pwedeng sabihin na parang mali yan, mali to, ganun. Kailangan nilang bigyan ng halaga yung information na nag-gather sa employee nila. Next is models of making ethical decisions. Ethics concept exists within a framework defined organizational values. This section briefly describes several such models that can be used for making ethical decisions. The actual model chosen will depend on the values of the organization of the larger company or community in which the organization does the business. The most widely used model as follows: categorical imperative model, also known as black and white model, which is right is right, wrong is wrong, as I said earlier. Next is full disclosure model. This model has the advantage of applying the values of stakeholder in deciding what is ethical. Next is doctrine of the mean model. The mean refers to the average or middle point between two extremes. The model suggests that in any situation, a moderate middle ground option is likely to be an ethical option. So, sabi dyan sa doctrine of the mean model, bumabase siya dun sa parang gitna nung both sides na yon. Next is golden rule model. This model is based on the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them to do unto you. So, in Tagalog, parang gawin mo sa iba yung gusto mong gawin nila sa'yo. Next is market ethic model. This model is based on the belief that any legal actions that promotes profitability is ethical. Consequently, what is ethical should be decided within a framework of profit and loss. Organizational ethic model. This model is based on the loyalty of the organization. Unless an organization adopts a set of guiding principles that ensure ethical behavior, the organizational ethic model is difficult to defend. Sabi naman dito sa organizational, ethic model, ito yung parang meron na silang nakagawi ang ethical behavior. Tapos, kapag nag-adapt sila ng another ethical behavior, medyo mahihirapan silang i-depend yun or i-apply yun kaagad. Next is equal freedom model. The underlying principle of this model is that organizations have the freedom to behave as they wish unless their actions infringe on the rights of stakeholders. Proportionality ethic model. This model is based on the assumptions that the world is so complex that decisions are seldom clearly right or wrong. Professionals ethic model. This model is based on the principles of peer review. It states that the decision is ethical if it can be explained to the approval of broad cross-sections of professional peers. So, sabi dito sa professional ethic model, yung decision, kailangan na pag-desisyonan siya ng mga professional or mga 2 or more peoples. Then, that's all. Thank you.